Hello, my name is Dylan Brophy, and I wrote this game called Datauniversal that takes place in space. This is kind of like a let's play for Minecraft, and I'm showing you like how to play the newer version, which is 9.2. I'd have to look in the versions folder, but anyway, I'm just going to show you how to play. It's become a lot more complicated, um, and a lot of you might think this is a copy of Minecraft, and I'll tell you why it's not. The reason why it's not is because it has a lot of physics, and gravity doesn't just go down, it goes depending on the objects around you. So everything is constantly changing. So if you wanted to set a waypoint in this game, which I have kind of created a way, it's not that easy because nothing is static. Everything is constantly moving, which makes this game really interesting to play. Um, so, anyway, um, you're probably not going to be interested in how I created this game, so I'm going to put that in the About page of my website. And so, anyway, let's start showing you how to play. So, all the world has saving. So this is my last loaded world that I made. Let's see. I'm not sure exactly where we are, but this is my computer, and then as you can see, I keep moving after I start. It's part of the physics. Let's see where we are. And it automatically saves roughly every 50 seconds. So that's nice. It looks like we're like really far away from the rest of the solar system. So at some point at which the sun's light no longer comes, it's what I call deep space, because if it weren't for these lamps here that you see, right? There's another one over there. If it weren't for these lamps, then everything would be completely dark, just like space. That's why, like, you know, like when the moon's a crescent, it's the same way. And then this is the engine, so it constantly emits the like rocket exhaust, but it's only on after you right click it, and then right click it again to turn it off. So let's see. Inventory. So this is what the inventory looks up like as of the current version. There are quite a few blocks, including uranium and neutron guns, which are used to make explosives. They're fairly old and one of the oldest things in the game. And there's gas. And so basically what gas does is it's a static block. It never moves. But you can go right through it, and it's great for like tracking your orbital path and see how much you're moving. It also, yeah, it doesn't have any physics. Steel. So this is what my ship is made of. It looks a lot like this, right? So it sticks to things. So basically that's how this doesn't just fly apart, is because it sticks. Zainite does not stick, and it's just like this kind of ore would be used for like energy, and then gravium is just kind of the same thing. They're more decorative. They work the same way, except they just look different. Asteroids spawn in the world naturally, and they generally go at fairly high speeds, and they stick, just like steel. And then lamps. So I showed you those a little bit earlier in the video. So here's one right here. So these give you a good amount of light. There's another one in the floor over here. So they're really good because you're not always going to be lit in the same place. You know, you're constantly moving, so the light sources are moving around you, unless your light sources are moving with you. So that's what the lamps are for, trying to give you a stable light source. Let's see, and then we have rock. So this is like another decorative form of steel, but it's slightly less strong. Just, you know, rock. Dish. So this is very special. It has physics. I'm just going to show you one real quick. So what's really cool about these is it allows you to track an object's location and then go to it later. So let's say you build like a space station, right? And you decide to leave and go somewhere else, and then you lose the space station. The only way you're going to get it back again is if you have a dish. So, oh, you can't when you right click on it, it just places like normal blocks, but the computers give you a list of all of the dishes in the world. And then we can go to that. Okay, so go to the computer, and so disks / targets. So we have 2 of them, right? And then quite a few controllers. I'll get to those later. So you can access them through the computer, and if we select one and then we bind these, we can actually take these controllers and shoot them over to where the disks are. And so if these controllers are in your ship, and the controllers are aimed towards the dish, you can actually move your ship towards the dishes, or to these X, Y, and Z coordinates as specified here. So that's pretty awesome. Oops. So yeah, that's basically what the dishes are. And let's see. And then we have rockets, which is the thing we use for the engine, right? So it's the thing emitting all the weird exhausts up there, the hundreds of particles. So it's that guy there. There's not really much rhyme or reason to its texture. It's just kind of this random fun texture that I created. I don't know. But yeah, you can right click on it, it'll start to move. I would show you this, but it'll make us shoot away. But you know what? I'm gonna do it anyways. You can see this thing starting to move, and then I right click again, and it will stop. Right? It'll take a minute. So let's see. Yeah, so now it's all off balance. Whoops. But as you can see, it's moving back into its normal position. So that's done by these things called stabilizers. So there's 2 types. There's the normal stabilizer and the Y stabilizer. So the normal stabilizer basically makes it try to stay in an upright position, and the Y stabilizer makes sure that it doesn't rotate. So if it starts rotating insanely fast, kind of like the Earth does, you know, when it rotates, so basically they prevent that, and they help stop it from continuing once it starts. So that's kind of what those are. And then we can go to, yeah, so the crates. So these are 10 times as heavy as every other block in the game, basically. So the crates are these super heavy things. They don't stick to things unless something else sticks to it, but its mass is 10 times as much per unit volume, which is very bad if you get hit by one of those, because if it's going 1 meter per second, it can move, you know, 10 blocks a meter per second if it completely stops. So you can imagine if it's going 100 meters per second, it hits your ship, that's going to be very bad. Good thing they don't randomly generate, right? So, the crate. So, that's basically what it's used for, is if you want to weigh something down or make something more heavy, they're great for that. Okay, computer. Kind of showed you that already. I'm just going to show you again. So, yeah, the computers are really useful for controlling your ship. They will also tell your position, like where you are, your velocity. You can see those there. The GUIs are kind of the GUIs are kind of elementary, so they're not the best. I'm sorry about that. I plan on fixing that. No planned release date for that though. As you can see, our X position is negative 3,110 and changing. And then on the y-axis, we're 1,806. No. Oh, wow. That's actually 18,000. Negative 18,000. So we're really deep. That'll eventually bring us to what I call the divide. I'll get into that later, too. So, 289, you know, it's kind of normal. But yeah, so you can see our velocity and everything. Pretty nice. And the reason why that changes is because it's not the ship, it's only the computer, and it kind of moves around a little bit. So that's kind of the computer. Sick, eh? Yeah, so And then we have the stabilizer and the Y stabilizer. I already got into that. Okay, next thing, planetary core. Not going to show you that quite yet. I have to create a new world. It's a weird glitch in the code that I do plan on fixing. So do not place them in deep space because it will obliterate everything you have and it will end very badly. Now for the controls. So basically, the control allows you to control your ship. It's not recommended. They're kind of like unstable right now, as this is kind of like this is a beta game. Although I've worked on it for years. So basically, it tells you its ID because you may place like a lot of these, like a lot, and they can move your ship around. So I use these to make missiles and stuff. One time I made a planet, and I took like a ton of these and put it on a steel beam, and I used a computer to actually shoot the steel beam at the planet as I had left a dish on the planet. So that's pretty fun. Now we have explosives, so I'm gonna get into those in a minute. But yeah, they're really good for that kind of thing. Okay, now next thing on our list. So we go into, oh yeah, I didn't really get into planetary core. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so planetary core allows you to make a planet. So when you make a planet, a planetary core, basically it creates this gravitational field around it where everything will be attracted to it. The other thing it does is it tries to remain in stable orbit around the sun, but I mean there's a bunch of other blocks pushing it around, so that's not always possible for it to do, and you can go tumbling in the sun. That's just the way they work. There's no guarantee they will generate a stable orbit. You're responsible for that, not me. Yeah. So next is glass. Glass is nearly completely invisible. So you can kind of see the block of glass I just placed here, but we can definitely collide it with it. I can see I'm just going to stop moving forward when I hit it, or maybe not. Okay, but it's there. And if you make a big wall of it, you can definitely see it. There we go. See, now you can see it great. So there's some glass there, right? So yeah, see-through, it sticks. So you can make like a ship out of it. You could literally I could make this entire ship out of glass if I wanted to. Not that you'd be able to see the ship very easily, but it would function exactly the same, assuming you could see it. It's not completely invisible. You can see it, but you have to look fairly hard. That brings us to the last inventory item. It is also the newest thing, plasma explosives. So they use plasma to explode. That's their idea. So if you hit them hard enough, the idea is that they shatter, because the plasma is contained within glass, within like glass panes, basically, within like glass tubes. And so if you hit it hard enough, these glass tubes break, the plasma comes out, and there's a big fat explosion. So when something explodes, the blocks are not destroyed. They are hit with a ton of force. So it's enough force that it would rip this ship into shreds if it was like a nuke, which you actually can make. And I'll show you that. So yes, that's how the explosions work, and there's a little bit of particle effects that kind of make you go, whoa, what was that? Let's see. So I'm just going to show you what a nuke does real quick. It's fun making a tutorial. Okay, let's see. I'm just trying to find a good place to put it. This looks like a good place. So you need 1 block of uranium, and take your neutron guns. Right. By the way, to right click places a block, and place it around as many. Oh crap, my mouse is like super glitchy. It's the way my mouse works. I don't know. I'm trying to get a new computer. Haha. Okay, so neutron guns need to be activated by a computer. So for convenience, I'm just going to place a new computer. And don't worry, I'm going to delete this world. I'll show you how to do that too. Okay, so as you can see, there's a bunch of neutron guns. We just bind all of them and click fire neutrons. And as you can see, everything has disappeared. Everything's flying away from everything else. So we just exploded our ship. It's done, right? So yeah, we just blew up everything, right? So I click escape and I can reset and quit, which basically resets your world and allows you to quit to title. And then there's just quit, which exits. So it doesn't quit the game itself, it just leaves the world. Oh crap, I meant to do reset and quit. So it's saving the world and loading it is not exactly fast, but then again, when is it? Multiplayer is highly experimental. Do not use it. Not that it'll mess up your computer, it's not true multiplayer. You can't see other players, it's annoying. So that's a work in progress. I still need to figure that out. Okay, so this is what it kind of looks like when your world first starts up. There's some meteorites. Those ones are actually really close to the sun. They're never that close. But you start on the starting block, and you can see there's a crate here. That's what a crate looks like. So there we go. Over there, that is a planet. That guy over there. So, those are dangerous when you're just starting in the game, when you're just starting in your world, because they will throw you around, and as you can see, they're changing this entire area around there, and it's heading straight for us. So, as you can see, it's actually moving fairly fast. So if we hit something, let's see if we do, it probably wouldn't be good, right? Okay. By the way, since I didn't select an inventory item, it's just gravium. This is what gravium looks like. So, let's see what else. Oh yes, so that was a planet, right? So that's what the planetary core does, is it makes one of those. So we can take a planetary core, put it here, watch what happens. Everything starts coming. Oh, and notice we are also in orbit around the sun successfully. And then the other blocks will start coming too. So right now, oh, see? Right? So that block was completely dark, just seemed to come out of nowhere. That's because it was unlit, completely unlit. You'll also notice that I am in a successful orbit around our new planet that will probably eventually fall into the sun. And that is a very funny looking comet, by the way. Yes. You can also see there's some solar flares around the sun. Very nice. And that thing. See that little black thing over there? So that is not good. Stay away from that, because it will kill you. It's like, you know, in this game, you're really fighting against the environment, but that is the one thing that you will also fight against eventually if you play this game. Just stay away from it, please, for your own sake. It's really devious. So, let's see. I feel like building an asteroid belt. So, this usually takes a long time, but I'm just going to kind of get one started for you to get to see what they kind of look like. So we just destroy the planetary core and the planet will fall apart. That's the way physics works in this game. It's too complicated to simulate a planet the size of Earth, so planets will be iffy. Once we come out with our Intel Core i37, then maybe I'll be able to simulate a world planet Earth, like planet Earth, made entirely out of blocks, with actual real gravity. But I mean, we're just not there yet technologically. The CPUs aren't powerful enough. So let's see if we can go to Steel. By the way, I apologize if this is not the best tutorial. It's my first time kind of doing this, especially for a homemade game. Right, so we don't want to use steel. When you're making an asteroid belt, which is really fun, basically, like, you can go anywhere within it and you can always build. You'll notice that you have to place things on a block. If I just right-click out in the middle of nowhere, it's not going to place anything, ever. So, you always have to place on top of something. And so the premise of creating an asteroid belt is basically just place a bunch of blocks and make sure they're not sticky. That's the entire idea. You can also place blocks with the X key. That's what I'm doing right now. And if you want to place blocks super fast, press the X key and the right click at the same time, and you can more than double your speed of placing blocks. So that's how you create these really fast. I'm just making it out of Zanite. So this is what it kind of looks like. Let's see if I can get a better angle. We're too close to the sun, so it's getting really bright. Don't worry, we're not going to fall into it, the sun. I've played this game long enough to where I've figured out that right now I'm not going to fall into the sun. See? Told you so. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to go in, but trust me, we're not. What's really fun is to fly into those. Those are pretty cool when they get really big. Also, anything that falls into the sun is destroyed permanently. So try not to fall into the sun, because it will kill you, and everything around you will be destroyed. So that's another hazard. As you can see, part of our asteroid belt has gone in there already. So yeah. Let's see, let's use a different block. So after we kind of have this going, an asteroid belt that kind of looks like this, we might want to start using sticky blocks, because when we do that, then we can get asteroids that are, like, bigger. So it doesn't matter what sticky block you use, as long as it's one and you just kind of randomly place it anywhere. See, that's like one meteor. That's the starting block, and it's made of a bunch of sticky blocks. Specifically steel. So that's why it's kind of one unit, right? But all these other ones are just, you know, these little things floating. So if you add like steel, you can actually make multi-block asteroids, or actually asteroid block itself would be good for that. And then if you go like swing around the sun, what happens oftentimes is it'll actually make the asteroid belt like shift. It actually looks like we're going near a planet right now. I can just tell because, yeah, see, it might be that one or it might not. I'm not quite sure, but oh, I know what it is. Okay, so we're swinging around the sun in a way that it's like compressing our asteroid belt. You can kind of see that. So this makes the blocks like combine together, and if you have these multi-block asteroids, it makes it a lot more interesting. But it's not interesting right now, I know. But what you can do is basically you can go anywhere within this asteroid belt and build things. So one thing you might want to build is like, I don't know, maybe a ship, or you might want to build this tower that I've built before. And basically what the tower is you put a rocket at the top, and the rocket is not attached to the pole, but it streams down it. And the rocket, the pole has to be long enough where it gives time for the rocket to be going really fast. And basically the rocket goes into a pit, and the pit is made out of plasma explosives. So basically it just causes a giant explosion. But at that point, your asteroid belt might be big enough where it won't matter. It looks like we're having some lighting problems. That block's becoming invisible for a second, so lamps are a good thing to use. As you can see, it's lit up the entire area. They have a lot of light. And they also have these halos, so if you go farther from them, they made a halo. That's how you know. See, that's the starting area. It was the first lamp right there. And then the comets over there, that's that big line there. Let's see. Let's just make a planet for the fun of it. I don't know. I don't. This game does not have any true goal, so there's no like, end point like in Super Mario or anything else. Minecraft kind of has that too, where you want to defeat the Ender Dragon, but it's this game doesn't really have that. At least not yet. It might eventually, but not quite. We're not quite there yet. But you kind of do whatever you want. You own the world. There's nobody that's gonna stop you. No laws, nothing, and you have complete control over everything. So you can make anything, right? Eventually, I want to have be able to program inside the computers, like in Python. That would be nice. I'm not quite sure how to do it, but I think it might be possible. Whoa, dude. Yeah, see, this is why meteors are annoying sometimes. Okay, so see how we're going like really close to the sun. We may hit it. Some of these asteroids will definitely go in, so we want to kind of stay away. This is the danger of using a planet. It can go into the sun really fast. So that's why I don't mess with planets a lot. As you can see, our asteroid field is still kind of there, though. So I'm going to go over there. We've probably orbited around the sun a few times, actually, during this video. So that's pretty cool. You have your, orbiting. You're probably wondering where all the other planets are. They probably all fell into the sun. That's my guess. But it's... Oh, see? See that thing over there? That thing with the red tail? That's the thing I was telling you earlier about. Never go there. Never mess with it. It's just really bad, and it's almost impossible to defeat. So, you can't kill it. The only way to get rid of it is to shoot it away with a rocket, which is by no means efficient. So, you just take my advice. Don't mess with it. This video is completely unscripted, so I'm just gonna think on the fly. What should I do next? Let's see, what do we have? Oh yes, so gas, really good for tracking orbital paths. I just want to show you this real quick, and then I'm gonna wrap up the video. So as you can see, it just moved away. So it takes on the rotation and position of the block it's placed on, but it doesn't move from that position, while all the other blocks are constantly moving. So you can place another one and another, and they generate almost no lag, because they are just sitting there, and they don't have a collider. They don't collide with you, so they actually generate less lag than even just a block that would be static and not moving at all. And over time, you'll see a curve. I did this once before, and I actually did a full circle around the sun doing this, and I lined up at the same place that I started, basically. So orbits are pretty nice and stable. That's pretty cool. No, see, now you can see the curve. That's sick. Anyway, so, oh, I deleted the block. Okay. But yeah, pretty sick game. My name's Dylan Brophy, and I wrote the game myself, because a lot of the games just didn't have exactly what I wanted. So that was, I wanted to create a game, and I want to make money to fund my projects. So when you buy the game, the money is 80% of it's going to go back to the game, and 10% of it is going to go to me, and then 10% of it's going to go to my friend who made a lot of the other videos, like the trailers and stuff that you saw, that you may have seen. They're on my channel, and I fund my personal projects, so that's pretty cool. Expect an update sometime soon, maybe some bug fixes. I'm trying to get Unity Pro to basically fix a lot of the lag problems, because as you may know or may not know, physics creates a lot of lag, even just a few blocks, but we're having hundreds of blocks all with physics, every single one of them. So you can imagine that's going to lag things a lot. My computer's fairly good, but it's average. A lot of you may have gaming laptops. That's perfect. You probably won't experience almost any lag, especially with the new version where I did a lot of bug fixes that prevent lag. So that's good. Anyway, I hope that you enjoy the video. I hope you like the game. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you subscribe. Anyway, thank you for checking out my game. Have a good day. And I'll see you later. Thank you.